So questions are being asked, does the release of the on-cloud Eclipse mean the end for the Monster? So in today's shoe comparison review, we're putting on two max cushion neutral running shoes up against each other. We've got the on-cloud Monster and the on-cloud Eclipse. So we're going to go through their key features, talk about some differences, go through their performance, and hopefully you'll be able to decide from that which shoe is right for you. And also, does that really mean the end of the on-cloud Monster? So quick specs, both are neutral max cushion road running shoes from On. Price wise, so $270 or $180 for the on-cloud Eclipse. A little cheaper for the Monster, $260 or $170 in the US. Weight wise, so the Eclipse comes in at 285 grams or right on 10 ounces, and in the Monster 275 grams and 9.7 ounces. So a little bit lighter here in the Monster, and it definitely feels the lighter shoe, a little bit more nimble on the foot. Now stack height wise, 37 millimeters in the rear, 31 in the front, giving us a 6mm drop for the Eclipse. In the Monster, slightly lower stack, 34 in the rear, 28 in the front, giving us a 6mm drop. Now when you stand in these shoes side by side, certainly the Eclipse does feel like it has the taller stack. So in our uppers here, we both engineered mesh in both uppers, both really breathable shoes. We've got a bit of a more refined upper and a little bit more going on here in the Eclipse. It's a very simple and straightforward upper when we're talking about the Monster. But again, both very breathable. Both have gusseted tongues, very thin tongues, no padding on the tongue in the Monster. We've got some little padding, a little bit of padding on the Eclipse, just two pads that run down the tongue just to relieve some laces pressure. Padding wise, the Monster wins here. The Monster has got the most padding around the heel counter as such. Heel counter, it's got a little bit of flex in that one, whereas in the Eclipse, a little bit of flex. It's probably a little bit more solid at the bottom, but there is substantially less padding in the Eclipse here. Fit wise, so the Monster is going to suit people more with a narrow foot, so it is certainly a narrow fit, true to size in length, but the toe box is quite narrow. We've got pretty much the opposite going on here in the on-cloud Eclipse, so very big voluminous upper. Your foot sinks right down in it. You could probably come half a size down if the length allows you so. Lockdown wise, on-cloud Monster has got an excellent lockdown, no issues with that one. The loose fit on this one obviously has given me some lockdown issues, so you're going to need to be worried about that. The lockdown could be better, definitely in the Eclipse. And in our midsoles, both using Helion foam, but the Helion durometer feels certainly firmer in the Monster than what it does in the Eclipse. But yeah, Helion foam, both max cushion, however they're using different types of cloud tech. So you've just got the hexagon shapes in the Monster, and they've got the cloud tech phase, so these new shapes of the clouds that they've similar to what they've used in the Surfer, same sort of tech there that they're using in the Eclipse. Both compress and give you very different feedback. Both shoes are rocketed, as you can see there, like they've both got a pretty substantial rocker. However, the firmness, the more firmer Helion foam in the Monster makes the rocker feel more pronounced in the Monster than what it does in the Eclipse. They've both got speed boards. The speed board in the on-cloud Monster is just on top of the cloud, so it's on the top of the shoe, whereas in the Eclipse it's at the bottom of the shoe. So you get a chance to sink down into this foam before it stiffens up, and in the Monster you hit the speed board right under the sock liner. Stiffness wise in these shoes, so it's not too bad in the Monster. There's a fair bit of flex there. The Eclipse, it's a pretty stiff shoe, so it's noticeably stiffer than the on-cloud Monster. So, and in our ride, both max cushion, both Helion foam, but both couldn't feel any more different. So we've got a more soft, a more squishy type sensation in the Eclipse. So this is the softer ride, not so rocket feeling. And in the Monster, we've got it feels a fair bit firmer. It feels like it's more responsive, it's more poppy, and it's snappy. Both are pretty stable shoes, but I think the Monster is the more stable shoe. So in our outsoles here, I've gone with a more traditional type outsole, so it's more flat and more conforming to what other shoes are out there. Really nice rubber on the outsole here, and obviously in the high wear areas at the back you can see that exposed speed board there. They've got this segmented, like they still have their segment, so this is their flex grooves in the front. You can see some crevices in the front and some flex points in the front of the shoe. And we've also got a bit of a decouple groove here in the back that's going to expand and obviously soften that ride for you in this shoe. The rubber for this one and the grip is absolutely excellent. Really love the outsole in the Eclipse. Now in the Monster, we've got a bit of a weird thing going on. So they've got their segments, as you can see there, just segments, and they've just got their rubber on the high wear areas. So the outsole, you can, on your first run or two, you can actually feel the segments in this outsole, and it does affect the ride a little bit. That takes a little bit to get used to. However, once you get used to it, it's really nice as well. So both have excellent grip in both conditions. Both durability looks great in both, and still no rocks in the on-cloud Monster. So both outsoles, very different feeling. This one feels more traditional and a little bit more safe. This one's a little bit wacky and weird, but still really good performing outsole. Now best use for both these shoes, again, couldn't be different. So the on-cloud Eclipse is definitely, with its softer ride, softer geometer, this is better suited to the easy days and your recovery days. So this one is just going to take all the zap out of the road. It's just going to really cushion those legs and just keep you popping along. So speed's not called for the day, and this shoe is a great option for that. So this where this one sits. And then the Monster, so this one is designed for those runs where you've got a little bit of license to pick up the pace a little bit, and it's also a great long run shoe. So this one is going to give you some pop back, and you're going to feel the rocker more significantly, and it feels like the more efficient shoe. If you're one of those people that's on your feet all day and you just want to walk around in this shoe, then the Eclipse is definitely the better shoe for that. So this softness is going to be just quite nicely to hang around in all day. Nice and soft, and it's really nice to walk in. Whereas the Monster just feels a bit weird with those segments. Right, there you go guys, so that's it from me. Hope that one clears it up for you. So two max cushion shoes from On, but both very different, both suited to very different runs. So we've got our easy, slow, squishy, soft run, and if you want to pick it up, max cushion speedy shoe. So definitely a place in On for both these shoes. And from that, if you've got any questions regarding these two shoes, please drop your questions in the comments below. I really love reading those. Anyway guys, that's it. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.